In the face of a global crisis unlike any we have known, resilient leaders are preparing for a future that seems more uncertain than ever. As COVID-19 spread around the world, Deloitte and Salesforce gathered a group of renowned scenario planners to consider how the pandemic might change business and society. 4 possible scenarios emerged. The passing storm. In the first scenario, the storm created by the pandemic passes relatively quickly, but leaves damage in its wake. The virus is contained earlier than expected through a coordinated government and public health response, renewing trust in institutions. The economic shocks disproportionately affect small business and lower-income individuals. In the next scenario, good company, governments around the world struggle to deal with the pandemic, while companies step up as part of the global solution. They partner across sectors to drive innovation and help their customers, shareholders, and employees rebuild. In a third scenario, sunrise in the East, China and other East Asian countries manage the disease more effectively, while Western nations struggle with slower and inconsistent responses. East Asian nations emerge as stronger global players, with their centralized government response becoming the gold standard. And finally, the lone wolf scenario, where waves of disease rock the globe for longer than anyone was prepared for. Deaths and social unrest increase, and economies launch into freefall. Countries ramp up surveillance, shorten supply chains, and grow isolationists in the name of domestic safety. While these scenarios suggest only a range of possible outcomes, they can help us see how the future might be very different than what we're planning for. Here are a few questions resilient leaders should be asking themselves. Which of your previous expectations need to be rethought? What are the biggest threats to your current business in these scenarios? Which best describes the world your organization appears to be preparing for? What would you need to do differently if any of these scenarios becomes a reality? Scenario planning can't predict the future, but it can change your organization's ability to respond, recover, and thrive in a world remade by COVID-19.